Welcome back to the Financial Microphone. In this video, we're going to look at how to not only escape the matrix, but how to beat the matrix. Before we can even begin to think about beating the matrix, we must first be able to identify that we are in a matrix. Much like an alcoholic first needs to identify that they have a drinking problem before they can stop. This is the first problem a person faces, and it is arguably the hardest step to get through because it requires a mental reset. Once it is understood that there is a system in place, it is easier to understand how to beat this system. Much like the 1999 film The Matrix, where the main character Neo goes through a series of steps to ultimately transform into the One, we too must do the same. Although the Matrix we are talking about here is not the virtual reality kind depicted in the films, there is certainly a financial matrix that dictates and affects our everyday life, whether we realize it or not. So what exactly is the financial matrix? In simple terms, it is a system of control, a system designed to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Many people don't even realize that they are in this matrix because it is all they know and it is normal to them. This cycle of repeatedly going to work for 40 hours a week with a 2-day weekend and 2 weeks of vacation per year, year after year until retirement is anything but normal. To make things worse, there are many people who are working paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet. It's one thing when a low-income individual is living paycheck to paycheck, but it certainly says something about this system when even high-income earners are living the same reality. This is the case now more than ever before, so it means nothing if you are making $1 million per year if at the end of the year you have nothing to show for it. The problem is consumerism, and it affects everyone, both rich and poor. The fact is, we are programmed to always want the latest thing that comes out, even if we can't afford it. As if TV commercials and targeted ads were not enough to instill this consumerism behavior in the masses, our very own peers are often a driving force as well. The term keeping up with the Joneses applies to our society now more than ever. In previous years, we might have seen our favorite celebrities on TV living the rich lifestyle with fancy cars and clothes, living in giant mansions. But today, it's possible to see the lifestyles of everyone you know through social media, oftentimes an inflated reality seen through filters with a perfect setup to portray the perfect life, which in turn pushes those watching to feel as if they need to step up their game and purchase things to achieve that same lifestyle or better, even if it means going into debt to do so. So how do we beat the matrix? Well, there's more than one way to do it, but you must find what works for you. Ultimately, it comes down to controlling your finances. Otherwise, your finances will control you. See, the more money you have, the more power you have, the more control you have over your own life. And once you have enough money that you can do anything, if you control your time especially, then you can go in and out of the matrix. You won't even have to escape the matrix. You simply beat it by being able to go in and out of it whenever you want. See, the matrix means you are tied up to some form of either a job, something. You have a chain connected to you from a different source, whether it means you're paying off a house, or you're paying off a car, or you're paying off student loans, or any other kind of debt. As long as you have debt and you don't have the money to pay that debt off, then you must keep going into a job, or basically you don't have the control. But once you're completely free from all that, you can go in and out. You can go to a store and buy whatever you like. You can go off and into the cabins and have a house in the woods, and you'd be completely fine. You could still live within the matrix without having to escape it, but you'd have the control to go both in and out as you like. Now, knowing this information, we can pick and choose what we need to do. And the reality is we have plenty of options, even though many people don't seem to think that they have an option. It's not just a job that you have to go to. You have the option to be an entrepreneur, to start your own business. You can rent out properties, you can have passive income, which should be the goal for everyone in the end. And after having that, you can go from there. You can continue growing until you have full control of your life, and you can say goodbye to that 9-to-5 job. In other words, you can escape the rat race, the matrix, whatever you want to call it, but you will be free of all of that. Now, just because we have plenty of choices that we can take in order to escape the matrix, especially in today's modern age with the internet, you can do anything from being an Uber driver to controlling your own time through drop shipping and Amazon. You can make a YouTube channel. There's different ways, but in no way does that mean it's going to be easy. In fact, you're going to have to take the road less traveled, meaning it can be quite scary and intimidating, not knowing the future and not knowing how it's going to turn out. You could start something and ultimately be wasting your time if you do not succeed in it. Although if you ask me, it's never a waste of time when you're trying to work for yourself instead of for someone else. Because even if you fail, what you learn from these experiences, as long as you keep going, will ultimately get you where you want to be. And it may not be in 1 year or 2 years, it could take 5 years, it could take 10 years. But as long as you want it and you keep going at it and keep learning from these experiences, you will make it. Now, along the way, you're going to have to track your spending, cut your expenses, and just keep finding ways to increase your income. And whatever you have, invest your savings. You're going to have to take baby steps because no one knows what they're doing when they first start off. And you can't look at someone else and compare yourself to where they're at. Because you want to be there, yes, that's great, aim for that, but you're in a different spot. So you must keep taking your baby steps until you get there. And once you do, then you will have a different outlook. You'll be at a new level, so you'll be able to see new things, new opportunities that you'll be able to take. Now, while you go through working your 9-to-5 job or any other job that you have, as these other opportunities arise, a few key things to remember is to always work harder on yourself than you do on your job. This means that you'll have to spend maybe some money on overhead. You might have to buy some equipment, some either cameras, computers, some technologies that will help you achieve your goals. But consider those an investment. Spend more on yourself than on any other thing, right? So along that, discipline is key. You're gonna have to become good at setting goals, set healthy boundaries of knowing when you should be doing something and when other things should not be done. Even though there will be inconsistencies, always be consistent with yourself and what you're doing. Linking this video back to the movie, in The Matrix, Neo, since his conception, is born with the Matrix source code known as the Prime Program. This gives him the ability to freely manipulate the simulated reality of the Matrix, much like an authority system administrator has over a given system. Neo then is able to manifest these abilities as various superhuman powers. So the takeaway from the movie is be the one, be Neo. Then you can beat the Matrix. Just like Neo has the code within him since his birth, we also have the power within us since our birth. And we must forget that we are very powerful and we have the power to manifest what is in our mind. So if we control our mind, we can control our life and our surroundings. And that is the key to finally beating the Matrix, not just escaping it. So be the one to beat the Matrix.